Testing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SquashGym PSA Satellite. You are joined by myself, Joel Ascott, and my lovely co-commentator,
That's correct.
Rod Bannister, or Rod Nui as we like to call him. But this is a first round encounter. Lwamba Chileshe in the white, v Allan Bailey in the black and white. Local boy up against a PSA pro. What do you know of Allan?
What I know about Allan? Good to be here. Good to be here, Joel. And haven't seen you for a while, mate. You've been at my home club, obviously, going about your business for the last week or so with the rest of your squad, and we really enjoyed having you. So it's nice to get in the commentary box with you, mate. What do I know about Allan? I know Allan's A2. He's a bit of a local. What can you call him? I suppose.
Local legend?
Local identity. Local identity, you could say.
Icon?
I wouldn't say icon, but local identity, and quite an unassumable player. He's sort of like a little smiling assassin, you know. Doesn't really do a heck of a lot with the pill. Sorry about that, Allan. A lot with the ball, but he'll run and have a crack, you know. At least for this first set. Plays a lot of squash, mate. He really just plays a lot, hits a lot, plays a lot, and. Look, not the most athletic person in the world, hasn't got the greatest hand skills or hand-eye skills, but he'll plug away, mate, and get the best out of his ability.
Yeah, he seems...
What about Louis, mate?
Well, what's there not to like about Louis at the moment? He's the man in form, isn't he? Recently finished second at the Nationals in a close 5-set with Evan Williams. But at the moment, Louis' game's really come together. Very good hands at the moment in the front of the court, which is something new to his game recently. But just his accuracy is really lifted at the moment, and his squash IQ, as I like to call it.
So what do you mean by squash IQ?
As my good friend Nick Meter would say, court sense is the first thing. But it's just tactical awareness, really, is what I'm trying to get at. Having an idea of where your opponent is at. And sensing the space just like that, you know. And it's just reaction time as well. His reaction volley time, not time, but just the timing of his shot is just through the roof at the moment.
So I suppose the difference, mate, in layman's terms, in that regard, the difference is if we're talking to people that are listening that are lower graded than these guys, you know, if we're talking to sort of like if we dumb it down a bit in layman's terms, that would probably mean you won't win a rally off the first opportunity or first shot. You've got to put a few combinations together to build a rally. Was that sort of what you're talking about?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Certainly, if you're going to have any progress against Louis, first of all, you got to get it past that reach of his, which we can see now. If you don't, he's very lethal. So that would be the first step. Yeah.
Yeah, he's come out with a real bit between his teeth, hasn't he? So even though we would expect. Joel, even though we would expect for Louis to comfortably get up against Allan, he's not mucking around, is he? He's going about his business. Straight into it, mate.
No prisoners, very professional.
Yeah, very good.
Onto that volley like there's no tomorrow. So there you see Allan with the extended cross-court. After whatever the score is now, he's starting to see the light there. But that is how wide it has to be against someone like Louis.
And sorry people, we haven't got any sort of score up, and it's pretty hard or tough at this venue to get a score, but I'd say it would be around about 7-2 in the first set. Oh, 6-4. Not even close. What's your call, Joel?
Match prediction, 3-love Louis. I think if Allan was to get a significant amount of points, it would probably be in this first set when he's the freshest and he's got a little less work into his legs. Very hard to win a point against Louis, as we see right now. You have to hit at least 2 or 3 general winners, as people would call them, to really get any inroads.
I'm liking, and obviously there's a difference in ability when it comes to movement, all sorts of stuff when you reserve this, but I'm liking how Louis is going around his business. There's absolutely no room, no space for anything really, is when he's hitting balls to good areas. And Allan, look at even Allan now, he's under the pump, breathing heavily, and we're really just in the back end of the first set. We're going to look 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Yeah.
Again, it's just that intensity difference, isn't it? It doesn't have to be super long, but it's how early he's taking the ball and, getting Allan stretching a little bit further than what he's used to into those corners and that's something that it's quite hard to see when you're playing, watching squash, but playing against it, we all know how it feels.
What I noticed at the Nets by just watching live stream in that job, what I noticed with Louis is that, look, mate, I've watched him over a year or two, from a distance, and like that sort of stuff. Massive improvements in taking the ball in and shooting.
Oh, we've seen even in this set right now. What's that? 11-5, and it's probably 6 or 7 of those shots were just outright winners.
Yeah, pretty impressive. So that's a massive difference I've noticed in his game. Going to Coach Duggan, straight to Coach Duggan. Hey, look, Joe, I just want to ask you a few questions, mate, with regards to, look, again, I watch you guys, and I say yourself, obviously Chris van der Sam's part of your crew, Louis, Temwa. So, as far as your squad goes, I mean, at this time of the year, what are you doing with regards to training? Are you sort of backing off a bit now? Is this just sort of a bit of a run round this weekend, or what are you doing over the next month or so?
Yeah, it's a good point. I guess usually the squash season will be kind of pretty much well and truly over by now, or at least slowing up a lot. For us at the moment, not much squash is on the menu. I mean, in terms of easing off physically, not really. I mean, me personally, I love to get into my road cycling, and I like to keep fit.
So I noticed that was a bit of a development over COVID, right? So
Over
COVID, right?
Yeah, I went hundy. Got all the way up to about 120k at one point in one sitting, which is good fun. But no, at this time of year, I like to really get into that kind of different kind of physical stuff that I don't usually get the opportunity to. So. But everyone's different at the moment. Definitely the Chileshe boys, they love a beach day, love a beer or two on occasion. Classic Kiwi summer really for us this time round.
Now, back to the match at hand. If you were coaching Allan Bailey, what would you say? What would you say, mate? What would you say on a hiding to nothing? And you called it well, actually. Obviously, the first set, the first 3 or 4 points looked half good, right?
Yeah.
But from here on in, it's looking quite brutal. So if you were coaching Allan,
what would you say? If I was honest, I'd say just get the ball past him. To be that simple. Focus on your targets. Don't worry about what he's doing. All you can do is focus on what you can do.
Yep, and you're great.
There you go.
Great. So pull the trigger when you can.
Exactly. He's not indestructible. But don't try and go with him and what he's doing. Focus on what you can do and focus on your targets, and then you'll be surprised, I think.
Yeah, actually really good. I'm noticing a heck of a lot of difference in what he's doing with the ball, Joel. Like I'm saying, Louis, that is, like, look, compared to 12 months ago, a massive amount of different stuff, particularly taking the ball, and look at that. Oh, that's good hands, right? Change of pace.
It's that soft hands and
good areas.
He picked a lot of that up when he went away and over to the UK.
Yeah, great.
Listening to, just filtering down all the information he got from a bunch of coaches and squads over there. It's obviously paid huge dividends now in his swing and in his game. So it's good to see, really, and it's a reoccurring thing. Everyone seems to notice that, so it's good. But definitely, I mean, you can just tell by watching him now. For people that hadn't seen him,
he looks confused at the moment.
Well, he's confused right now. Yeah. But yeah, he's certainly not confused in the direction he's taken his game, which is the good thing.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good to see, actually. So if you were playing Louis, mate, and you're giving yourself any sort of chance, what wall would you focus on?
What wall?
Yeah, what wall? Backhand, forehand side. Where would you plug him?
Honestly, probably more. I'm a bit of a backhand specialist, but you can see there, like, whatever, if it's loose, you're screwed. So the first aim is just to get it tight, regardless, whatever the wall it is. Get it past him, get it tight, and then when the opportunity's there, go for it.
Isn't it interesting? Because Allan Bailey's obviously an A-grade player, A2 player, pretty good district player. That's pretty good district player. Good get by Louis there. Pretty good district player. But it's interesting, even at this level, I've noticed here Allan, and more time pressure too as well. But Allan's sort of his depth is really half service box, so just not good enough, is it, against someone of Louis' quality?
You've got to get someone
well enough.
Yeah, you got to get someone like Louis stretching.
Just too short.
Not getting that ball past him it's going to be a really tough day at the office for you.
Yeah. So what will Louis' goal be here? What will his goal be here? Just focus on what he's doing. Keep the pressure on right to the end.
Yeah, I think overall at the moment he's trying to just really enjoy the squash and let his arm go a little bit.
Yep.
And especially in a match like this, you want to get off, but you know, quickly and store some energy, but you just want to play really.
So let's talk about first round matches for a start too. Can be awkward sometimes, can't they, Joel? You know, the Friday night match, you get to a club, you know, you're not quite familiar with it.
Yep.
You know, guys have been travelling. Obviously, you guys haven't, neither has Allan, but it can be quite challenging, can't they? So if you've got an opportunity to get off the court, it's probably a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, I can definitely visualise a few shocking first rounders I've had in the past. But I mean, one thing that we've started to do recently, or at least this year, is really try and just get to that club, whatever it is, a day early. You know, as squash players, we try and, you know, cut the budget's pretty thin, so we don't like to pay that extra night. But certainly this year, we've done that a lot. You know, just it's always worth that extra day early just to get that hit in and feel comfortable. But again, there's always that atmosphere, isn't it? You can't replicate having a crowd there. So if you can try and be comfortable on the court, that's the first thing.
Great hands, and Louis finishes that off reasonably comfortably. 11-3 in the second set, so 11-4, sorry mate. Sorry, Mr. Bailey told us 11-4. And so just a continuation really, Joel, from the first set, right? Pretty impressive again. A couple of unforced errors from Louis, but
yep.
Just finished it off nice and easily.
Yeah, still taking that ball in really well and closed it out really well. Be back very shortly.
Give me a snog. I'll give you a snog later. Hi, Mecca. Get a photo of me, John.
All right, we're back for set 3.
$20 phone.
Lwamba Chileshe, 2 love up. If you're just joining us, this is the SquashGym PSA satellite, first round here in Palmerston North. I'm joined by Rod Bannister. Well, it's been a reoccurring theme. It's been a reoccurring theme, shall I say, so far in this match. Now I'm going to put it back on you. If you were coaching Allan now, what would you say, Rod?
You wouldn't say too much different, John. Wouldn't say too much different. I mean, you're on a hiding to nothing, right? And probably now Allan's probably feeling a little bit of the old lactic acid building up in the quads and that, you know. A few changes, subtle changes of directions, but they all add up, right? So there's a bit of energy, a bit of filth there from Allan, and he sneaks away a stroke. A bit of the old, what can you I suppose you term that Masters filthy boast, right? Reverse boast. And he sneaks a point. I mean, Louis just puts in a nice one there, feeds one into the front to get it back. Yeah, look, again, Joel, I'd actually say pull the trigger. Any opportunity you get, any opportunity you get, just have a crack. Look,
kitchen sink sort of thing,
isn't
fatigue.
It? Yeah. There's real fatigue. What a difference in half a set, right?
Yeah.
And Louis just sort of putting that in there passively now, actually, so giving himself a bit of work. So really just a little bit of conditioning game stuff for Louis, right?
Yeah, just trying to feel his way around the court.
Hitting a few balls. Allan's got 2 left feet at the moment.
It's a little bit off topic. A little bit off topic, but Allan Bailey's calf muscles Okay.
No, you're not off topic.
No, those are genuinely impressive. Okay, regardless of the squash level
Actually,
right
never
now.
taken any notice of it until you just mention it. But look, mate, I wouldn't think he was respectfully a Pākehā boy with glasses and a physique like that, with calves like that.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. He looks like he runs 400s in his sleep with those calves.
No, he doesn't. He eats a lot. He loves a feed, Allan. Actually, loves a feed. Most squashers do. Right?
He is. Yeah, those are some serious calves. We're seeing Temwa Chileshe on next, Louis' brother.
Wow.
And he's got a big pair of calves.
Great pickup.
But
who do you reckon's got the bigger pair?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's going to be it would be a very good contest to see the pair of them on court. I certainly envy a pair of calves with my chicken legs. Not quads, but calves. So I win in that department. But still, business as usual for Louis. 4-1, I think the score is.
Yeah, 4-1 in the third, and obviously 2 love to Louis. He missed that by a country mile, but it's okay.
Yeah, seeing a few more.
Oh, well done, Allan.
A few more variations going on, aren't we?
Yeah.
He's absolutely. He's putting. The kitchen sink's coming out from Allan at the moment.
Oh yeah, volley, really.
You can just see the fatigue in his legs, eh? It's that chop and change of direction,
and that's look, and that's just a real lung buster, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. He's battling. See the
shoulders
shoulders going up and
really
down.
Had a big off season or a big in season, but different level from too, mate. Different level.
Yeah, you can just see the pressure and the fatigue there.
Again, having said that, and also an A grade player. So look at the difference in levels in A grade, right? Let alone A2, A1.
I mean, people say
difference in levels, right?
People say A2 and A1, and then I say A1 and professional because it's a different ballpark.
Yeah, good call.
And not many people really get to see that in New Zealand. And also training-wise as well, people that train professionally and full-time, it's a different ballpark.
Absolutely. I think Allan's realising that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, great shot. But again, what I'm really impressed about with Louis, mate, of his development, and this is obviously, so that front court game is becoming sort of like as apparent as his depth. So he's not scared to go in. Whereas before, Joel, you'd know this better than I would. Before, he doesn't mind, 14, 15 pills to the back, right?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those comfort things. You see a lot in sport, but athletes, great shot there.
I mean, and that's what we talked about, right? Pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Just pulled the trigger.
But again, athletes that are comfortable going outside their comfort zone, they're ultimately the ones that are going to be successful. We hear it all the time. I think Alistair McCaw, you probably dealt with him, I don't know, maybe in Australia. But I think one of his famous quotes is, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that applies with Louis in his short game. I know it sounds a little bit crazy. But seriously, that's all it is. It's just forcing yourself to play those shots when you don't really want to, and then eventually it's comfortable. I mean, anyone that's seen Louis play in the last 2 years will just be probably confused almost, just shocked at how far that game has come for him. But that's the honest secret if people want to know it. Can't coach that though.
Can't coach that. Bit of a squeeze and just off the end of the racket. I mean, what you've got to say, and you'd expect this too, right? But, I mean, Bailey hasn't, mate, he's given a good account of himself, right? For a club player, right? A-grade player. Look, every rally, mate, he's pushed. Isn't it interesting watching Louis' body language here? It's interesting, when you know you're comfortable in your match and you know you're cruising, but then something like that happens against a player of less ability, and it doesn't take much to wake you up, does it?
Yeah.
You get a bit annoyed with yourself because you set a standard for yourself, and Louis' body language then was like, right, let's just crack back in again.
Yeah, it's that self-awareness, which is actually quite high for Louis. Oh, well, that's a great way to finish the match.
So 11-5, 3 love to Louis Chileshe in the first round tonight of the PSA SquashGym Summer Open against Allan Bailey. Good account Allan gave. Great match, and we roll on to the next one, which is who's playing who, Joel?
Temwa Chileshe versus Matt Nation. which will be back in 20 minutes. So we'll see you then.
Yeah, he did. Obviously, he picked him up, but he was certainly probing on the side. I mean, he hit some good shots. I mean, obviously against somebody else, he had a decent run. You know?
Right, Rod Bannister on commentary at the moment. I'm just about to be joined by Joel Arscott in a minute. We've got Matty Nation, who is from SquashGym Palmerston North, currently domiciled in Wellington, where he's working at the moment, and Temwa Chileshe, who is part of the Unsquashable crew, Team Chileshe, or with the team of lads that are travelling around the circuit at the moment, the pro-based boys. Matty started really well. First couple of points, obviously, but actually Joel, who's just joined me, hits a really nice ball, mate. He's actually a really nice player. Have you seen him play much?
No, it's the first I've seen of Matt Nation. But no, I saw him warm up for like 10 minutes there, having a little solo before he stepped on. He looked pretty crafty, pretty handy. But Temwa, he's a professional player, you know, so he'll be going about his business, not taking anyone for granted.
Absolutely. A bit of history on Matt. Matt was work-wise, he's high up in the Navy, so he's travelled around. He travelled around the world quite a bit, been in places like Qatar and that, based, and doing a lot of work with the obviously with the Navy and that. But now he's working more onshore and got a contract down in Wellington. But interesting story about Matt Nation while we're on it is that he went over to Canada, a year or two ago, and he played in the Masters Champs. He just actually went over there for work, Joel, at the time, and went over to the Masters Champs. And Masters there are over 30, right? And Matt was over 30.
So he doesn't look like he's
no, and he turned up and won it, right? So it's it's one of those stories where he turned up and he sort of ended up playing squash in Canada a bit by winning that Masters Champ. So, mate, great start from him. Just come out of the blocks really quick, raced out to 4-1. He's a dangerous player, mate. Compared to Allan, he's got he moves really gracefully.
Yeah, he looks like quite a fit fellow as well. Light on his feet. Yeah.
It's interesting you say that because watching him through COVID and that a bit, Matt, he spent a lot of time on the bike and actually mate, he loves what you're doing. He's got on the bike a lot, so he loves the bike. He was at university finishing off a master's degree or whatever he was and waiting to pick up some work, and he got on the bike a heck of a lot. But he'll enjoy this. He's a fluid mover. He's got beautiful hands, and he always looks like, mate, he's sort of like really passive, but he's mate, he can play. Yeah, he can play. He's a smart guy. Again, I'm not quite sure if he's had many matches. But
yeah, that's definitely the theme we're seeing, isn't it? Yeah, people a little bit not match fit, sorry. And even I felt that yesterday playing Chris, but yeah, it's definitely the theme going into all these tournaments at the moment, especially for the slightly lower graded players.
So just chip the top of the tin there, Temwa. I just thought that was quite an interesting choice by Matt early in the first set, really trying to hit a roller from the forehand, which sort of indicates to me is that trying to steal a few points, which is pretty tough against you guys that play full time. You're going to have to do a bit of work to get a few points. So it's probably beneficial, as you say, Joel, if Matt would look to do pretty well in the first set, right?
Yeah. Again, just don't want to force it, really. There is openings there. You just have to be patient.
Look, Joel, just to talk about it a bit, mate, too, when you're not, as a player, when you're not quite 100% fit and you've got to steal one or two games early, don't you, really? Stealing meaning you've probably got to get up in the first couple of games, right?
Yeah,
to have any opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
So you'd think that's also Matt's sort of theory here. Would you, without knowing Matt, that's not a bad crack. Without knowing Matt, he's going to have to look, and he's just having a go, isn't he?
You can already see it, yeah. Going short first, definitely.
So stealing, I always say stealing points, mate. But if it works, right? It looks great.
Yeah.
Interesting. What Louis did there, mate. He when Matt Nation hit that ball into the nick there, the first thing Temwa did is he pointed to the wall, didn't he? Which means he probably needs to get the ball behind.
So it's refocusing and focusing on that target area. All very hard on ourselves, but Temwa, very much so hard on himself. If he doesn't hit that target, he's going to want to correct it.
So Tim, a bit, mate, obviously you guys do a heck of a lot of training together. You guys are bloody companions on the court. You travel around quite a bit. Live together, mate. Yep. Apart from that, you don't do much together. But talk a bit about Tim's game, mate. Did he end up third at Nats this year, Nationals?
He finished third. Yep. Beat Chris in the Chris Ranasam in the third and fourth playoff.
Chris was higher seeded, was he? Going into that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was actually.
Have you seen any developments? Obviously, you guys are close to each other all the time with regards to it. Have you seen it? That's trying to steal a point that didn't work.
Yeah, definitely.
Mate, have you seen any developments in Tim's game over the last 6 months or so?
I think for Tim's, the big thing for him was just he's always had amazing shots, amazing racket skill, but he just had to build that consistency a little bit more in his game with a few more pressure sessions and just that physical intensity, taking that ball early instead of, or just also extending the rally as well. With that short game, he had a big tendency to try and pinch points or steal points, as you said, by going short. So
are you saying he's just built a bit more maturity in his game now?
To put it in simple terms, he's tried to become a little bit more of a grinder.
So he's playing less junior squash? Sorry, that's
squash.
Not respectful. No,
it's a good way to put it, yeah.
Less junior squash?
Yeah, for sure. He's just trying to really, go across that bridge of junior to pro and building that maturity in his game. And he's definitely, trying to do that more and more. And you see, it's just like those little things. He's trying to lift his way out of pressure. You know, he's picking the right times to counter, and that's been a huge shift for him.
Yeah, getting a couple of balls now, Joel. This is a real telling rally. I mean, even this early in the match, right? Against, again, an amateur player versus a pro. This is quite a telling rally for me. Even this early in the match, mate.
Yeah, it's
you want to come out
of,
on top with this one, wouldn't you?
It's that classic kind of 7-all, 8-7, those kind of rallies, where the intensity just lifts and the better player seems to edge it ever so slightly, and this is Temwa trying to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to build that bridge.
He knows that too, doesn't he? You can actually see he knows that.
And you can see him on that short game.
Oh, that's a great effort.
It's a good squeeze, to be fair. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. It needed to happen.
But this is where it always
needed to happen.
This is where it always shines through. It's that backing up of these kind of points.
So 8-all in the first. Massive point for Nation for me. Massive point.
But again, as I said, you trying to back up those points. That is where the bridge between professional and amateur is seen. And textbook stuff, he just tried to force it after that big long rally, feeling the fatigue.
Incredible, isn't it? So you'd normally think you'd try and back that up again, wouldn't you? You'd normally try and back that up instead of steal. It's good. It's good squeeze.
You can
by
say
10.
It's experience. You can say it's whatever, but it's also just having that knowledge to know when to push that extra gear.
Oh, good ball. That's a great ball.
Good counter work though. Last 2 points.
9-all in the first. Nation hanging in there. Yeah, look, Joel, is there anything you've seen watching Matt Nation at the moment you've seen him for the first time, so I'll stay out of it. Well, is there anything you see that you like about his game? Obviously, it's the first set, but what do you like about his game so far?
He's a crafty little player. He definitely seems to have plenty of shots. But he's picking his punches very well, and a little bit of fortune there. But definitely his counter work and taking that ball in is pretty good. His movement again. I haven't seen him really challenged on a movement to the front yet from Temwa. But he just seems to read the game very well, to be honest.
Yeah, look. For me, mate, he's also what you call there, Joel.
Definitely, it's just a let.
Just a let.
Yeah, cleared out of the way. It wasn't too loose. But I love watching players that make the game look easy.
Yeah, and he does, doesn't he?
He does have that thing about him, doesn't he?
Yeah, nice player. Oh goodness.
Great length though from
Yeah,
James.
great length. And that's it again, Joel. Half an opening, mate. Simple. I'm not going to say a simple shot to the back. Actually, 3/4 pace length.
Yep.
Gone. Didn't try and overhit it, did he?
Half volley as well. Yeah.
Yep. Didn't try and overhit it. Oh no, didn't.
So, big point here now.
Oh wow.
10-all we have it as.
A lot of counter punching here, isn't it? Very, very similar sort of, if I'm saying patterns, but I think Temwa will enjoy this too. Somebody shooting, won't he? Who actually enjoy this? Somebody else having a crack.
Yeah. So possible 12-10 or 11-9.
Yeah, 12-10 first set. 12-10 first set. So how would you be feeling if you're Nation after that set? What when you're coming off, you're obviously heaving a bit, under the pump a bit. What are you thinking? Where are you at?
There's positives. There's 2 ways to look at it. If you're being objective, you say, hey, I had a crack and I didn't really have much of a game plan, but I pushed them to 12-10, If you're going into, personal thoughts, you'd think, hell, that really hurt, blah, blah, and blah. So I think if he was objective with himself, he'd, back himself a little bit more in the second set and really look to do the same thing and push on harder again through that middle ground.
I hate to say it, mate, and we sound like we're doing cliche stuff, aren't we, when we're talking about these sort of... Look, I'm going to say it again against the guys that are training full-time, obviously, and obviously Matt Nation's an A1 player, so he's a pretty handy player. Plays a pretty good A1 game, but my call is going to be, I just think the intensity is going to fall off and it's going to drop off in the third. That's just my call, and respectfully again to Matt Nation, it's just that difference between the hours, the grind, the effort to being pro, and
just lifting that base level
and being an A1 amateur. That's for me.
Yeah. Nonetheless, one love to Temwa. Be back very shortly.
Rightio, 1-0 to Temwa. 12-10 in the first. Really good. Really good matchup actually. And I think we had a quick chat there, Joel, sort of off air or off commentary, whatever you want to call it. And what's your take on Matt Nation in the first set? So what were you expecting, or if anything, and what are your thoughts on Matt as a player?
Yeah, I think he has that skill or talent, shall I say, to make the game look relatively effortless. Even if the shot quality or what he's doing, he's out of position or blah blah and blah, he has that ability to make the game look good, and he reads the game very well. So he certainly wasn't the character I was expecting to see, but I'm pleasantly surprised and impressed so far, and it's good to watch. It's a good contest so far. You know, Tim were taking that first game 12-10, so it's interesting to see what he can come up with in this set. If he can make more inroads, or if the wheels fall off.
Yeah, he is. Look, he mightn't look at either Joel and his demeanour in that too. But like most squashies that hit a pretty good ball, mate, he's got that underlying really competitive edge on him though. You know, doesn't like losing. You know, so got a bit of that innate competitiveness in us.
He's
like
also quite reserved, isn't he? Doesn't express too much on the court as well, which is a good thing to have on a squash court.
Yeah, and he's obviously got to play really well to sort of squeeze points. What's your call there?
I think it's given as a stroke. It's a little bit soft, but I think he read that, or maybe a let. But I would have given that a let regardless.
So coming into this event, you guys, I always say you guys because you're all trained together and work together as a squad. You guys, did you do much after Nats, Joel? Did you sort of back off a bit, or?
Yeah, I had about 2 or 3 days off after Nats, which actually that might not sound like a lot, but it was a lot for us at the time with that training block beforehand. So yeah, we eased off a bit. Knowing we had this trip in the back of our minds, we maintained. And then obviously after this, it's just we're sort of in holiday mode. So for us as a squad, it's just about keeping professional through the last tournament, and then letting ourselves relax afterwards.
Okay. Now I'm not going to go off topic. I'm going on topic because you made it a topic. Calves.
Yeah.
Come on, mate. I've just had a look at Tim's actually because they're quite shiny at the moment. It's obviously quite warm on court, about 30 degrees, I'd say. So they're massive. They're actually massive.
I brought it up because I was pleasantly surprised again, or impressed. Yeah, Allan Bailey. Those calves, right? Genuinely impressive.
Crazy.
Not much of a quad game compared to Tim's. Okay, Tim's has got the calves. I think he might have them in the calf department. Not comfortably, but he might have them. But he definitely has them in the glute and quad department.
I think the glute's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, that's
but what I'm looking at here is that but he's more the physique too. So it's more the overall physique. Why I noticed Allan's actually, or Bailey's when you brought it out, is right because it's like a bit of an imbalanced physique, if that's the right way to put it.
That 400 meter kind of runner. They got that lean. You know, they're very bottom heavy with their calves and. That kind of thing. Whereas Temwa, if you didn't know Temwa, you saw him in the street, you would not say squash player, would you? You'd say powerlifter, rugby player.
Powerlifter eater.
Yeah, powerlifter eater. Yeah,
enjoys a good feed.
Yeah, definitely. He does too.
I know. Actually, it was noted the other day when you guys at my home club the other day, mate. The first thing Tim asked for when he came off from coaching was what?
What's for dinner?
Just straight into food.
Yeah, straight into it.
I think he saw you boys had a bit of food and. Yeah, so bit of off-court stuff with Tim. Loves a meal.
Oh, mate.
Not shy.
What I say a snack.
Yeah.
Because it's not a normal snack. It's a snack.
Okay.
It's a meal. Okay. He has about 8 meals a day. Okay. It's really impressive.
Yeah. It's impressive.
But it's the way he enjoys it. I've never seen someone eat food the way he eats it.
Yeah.
You know, Paul Cole goes on about it with Campbell Grayson and stuff.
Yeah, I know, right?
And
know.
if he got a look at Temwa, he'd be shocked.
Campbell got set up a lot in those sort of scenes, didn't he?
that
Poor
was
bugger.
good humour.
I know, good humour. So back to here, it's 7-4. Tim sort of got a 3-point gap.
Yeah.
Few niggly little let calls
I think it's
here.
what you were talking about. Is that kind of separation that starts to happen with that intensity that just bridges that gap even more over time between the sort of amateur player and the pro. And you see it with high ranked pros and low ranked pros. You know, even at the top level, 30 ranked players in the world versus top 5. It's that intensity and that pace and accuracy over a long period of time, because that's what brings it out. And that's what we're seeing here, 8-4 now. So yeah, I think Matt needs to either dig something up, bring the kitchen sink out, or...
It's interesting too, because I haven't really. I don't look. What there's one thing I am noticing with Matt just watching this rally, but apart from his movement, is that he's just got a bit looser, mate. As you know, when you're a bit fresher, they're going in a bit better, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're going in a bit better. He's a bit shorter. He's a bit looser.
Yeah.
And his legs are getting a bit heavier.
What you want to try not to do is avoid taking risks when you feel like that, because then the game can run away very quickly. And you see it there. He's trying to take the pace off, but he just needs to try and focus on his targets. That's the number one thing when you're feeling the pressure.
Yeah, the character for Temwa there. He just chopped one into the tin, right? Just chopped one into the tin.
Yeah, it was a little bit too close to his body there, but he tried to get.
But what I'm gonna defend with Matt, Joel, it's because you guys play all the time, right? So you guys have got high step. But what I am impressed with, mate, he's not going away.
Yeah,
just like Bailey, right?
Yeah.
Just not going away.
Yeah, he's crafted another one in there, straight 6-8,
corner, so he's got back to 2. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, you got to hand it to him. He hasn't really bent over or anything like that massively after rally, so he might be feeling it physically, but he's doing his best to hide it, which is noticeable from out here.
Oh, he's really up for it. Oh, that's not a great shot.
That's what you can't afford. That's what you can't afford.
It's one of those shots he played then, Jordan, that boast that when you play it, you shouldn't have played it, right?
Yep.
Like that habitual boast.
Yeah.
Just a habitual boast. Not really a working boast. Just a habitual boast. Got into trouble.
Yeah, we've all got our bad habits on the squash court, but these things...
and off them.
And off, of course, but...
9-6 in the second. Temwa up 1-love. Good little battle. Matt Nation's given a good account of himself. Local boy, another local boy, Palmy boy. Yeah, it's a great squeeze.
Too good.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, we're talking up a storm, Joel. It'd be great if some people could put some comments up, what they think of the game, anything they know about the players, what they've seen in front of them. Give us some comments where you're watching from. Hey, there's got to be a few of our mates out there watching.
Get that engagement up, eh?
Get that engagement up. So next we've got, I believe, Zach Millar versus Finn Trimble. So we'll take a quick break in between sets and we'll be back soon. Right, Matt Nation, local squash gym player, currently based down in Wellington for work, versus Temwa Chileshe, one of the pros here at our PSA Summer Open in Palmy. 2-love to Temwa. Having said that, Joel, you're quite impressed with Matt Nation, giving a really good account of himself.
Yeah, so far so good for him. I think the wheels haven't really come off yet from what I've seen. You know, he's keeping his head and getting really stuck into tennis, which is great to see. Good contest, yeah.
Yeah, good contest.
We see this a lot though in professional squash, don't you? I know this that Matt's not a professional, but what you often see is, you know, it could be 3-love, but it could be, you know, 60, 70 minutes.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because if you were here and you were watching the game, you know, the boys are doing a bit of work. I mean, obviously Maddie is too, and he wrong bus totally there. I see the kids, it's quite funny, mate. This is how old I am now, Joel. They say Uber. They say Uber. My era is taxi, right?
Yeah,
but the kids say Uber.
No, I was in the taxi era through juniors.
No, I'm telling you.
Uber, it doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
No. Well, I don't know, mate. The kids probably think it does.
So an early guess there from Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I've never...
Not a good sign.
But not early, like early.
Yeah,
first
rally, isn't it?
Literally, I'm just going to run that way. Oh.
Down, yeah.
Oh, top of the tin.
That stayed deceivingly short there.
Okay, so interesting signs.
Letting the arm go, I guess. Textbook stuff though, isn't it? I mean, if we're honest. You see this all the time. When a top player's playing a lower ranked player, and that separation or that pressure, whatever you want to call it, just mounts and mounts and mounts. And
I quite like that word, separation. You know, I'm gonna copy and paste that one. Thanks, Joel.
Yeah. No
separation, good word.
No,
you obviously learnt that yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Your word.
My word, and
good on you, mate.
My theme.
Claim it. Yeah.
But often, you know, even at the top level, it might seem so simple. It might look simple, but the players don't feel that way. They feel the pressure differently, obviously, when you're on there. So it's very easy to be critical off court and say, well, he just needs to do this, that, and the other thing. But what they don't see is all the training that is going on behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely, the dirties, right?
Yeah, and
the dirties.
If you were to talk training time difference between these two each week, I know. It's probably, you know, just ridiculous, the amount of hours.
The other thing is too, Joel, the other thing is coming from Matt's side, you know, like the amateur side, the amateur player. It's interesting because it's like, if you think about it, 2 more balls coming back every rally, add them up, right?
And that's what I'm saying.
So just 2 balls every rally.
That's what builds that separation over that time of the match. And
we saw 2 rallies ago, Tim didn't really put a great ball back, but he got it back. Got into position, Matt pulled the trigger, missed his target, and then Tim's onto it again. So just getting confident, getting 2 more balls back, and it's really showing now, isn't it? There's a bit of a drop off, and there's a bit of a drop off in Matt's intensity and target area.
You know, squashers, they say it's 90% mental, 80% mental, whatever you want to call it, but confidence, you know, confidence is a huge thing. We see him forcing the shot there, but you know, Matt's made a couple of errors and Temwa's got a quick lead, and then you just see the momentum shifting right now. Anything can happen on the squash court, and it seems so simple from out here, but what's going on through the players' heads is a totally different story.
Nice bit of banter between the lads here too. Good to see. Good bit of banter between the boys.
Yeah.
It's good hold by Matt. Yeah, good. It's working. It's the old Aussie working boast.
Probably could have chipped that one straight there from Thames.
There's a bit of work in this. Those couple of boasts are going to hurt.
Yeah. See those lunges just slowing up ever so slightly. Yeah.
Just going to hurt. It's good ball, good squeeze. Yeah.
Good finish.
Look, I'm going to say it again, Joel. 2-6 to 5-6, mate. I'm going to give a little bit of a rap for Matt Nation there. It's a pretty gutsy effort, mate. Really, pretty gutsy effort.
Yeah, it's not like things have just come off either. It's kind of just from his gradual pressure and input and not tapping out.
A la Mo El Shabaghi, eh?
Moel Shabaghi or Kareem Abdul-Gawad?
Yeah, one of the two.
One of the two.
More Shabaghi on the forehand, right?
Yeah,
what a great shot.
Gawad's on the backhand. And
what a great shot.
He'll be loving us saying that, the Thames, that's for sure.
That's a great shot. Yeah.
Another error though from Matt.
Yeah, but interesting, just when it counts, able to pull away again into a 2-point gap, right? Just able to pull away when he needs to. Not good enough. Yeah. So match ball. Interesting, he got up to 5-6 now. It's 5 match balls. Chileshe 2 love up. 10-5 match ball. And that's game, set, and match. 3 love to Temwa Chileshe. He moves into the next round. Bloody good contest that. Joel, if you could sum it up in 30 seconds, mate, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, professional performance from the Thames. Pulling away well. Obviously, Matt, great contest and put up a really good fight. But I think in the end, Tim was just too professional through those end parts of the match, end parts of the game, should I say, and you closed it out pretty well.
So what's your call for the next one, mate? I think it's quite a juicy matchup next.
Yeah,
I mean,
Trimble
versus quite tight, right?
Versus Zach Millar. Those boys, they drive down from Hamilton this afternoon, or today, shall I say, 5.5 hour drive in the car together, and then they got to play each other.
They drive.
They drove down together.
You reckon they would have spoken to each other?
I don't know. You'd hope so. 5 hours.
No smack talk.
Hard to know, and I definitely think it would have been some coming from Zach's corner. I know what he's like.
So what's your call? You got to call it, mate.
I'm gonna say Zach 3-2.
3-2.
It's gonna be in 5.
I'm calling Trimble 3-2.
Okay.
So is that for a Coke Zero?
The Coke Zero. You want a bit of Coke Zero on it?
Yeah.
No sugar. You want it?
I'm not
on the shred. No.
No,
Okay.
not on the shred. No.
All right. Well, we'll be back to see if that prediction is accurate in about 15 minutes. Well, welcome back, ladies and gents, to this is the SquashGym Palmerston North PSA Satellite first round match. We have Zach Millar on the left, slightly stockier build, shall I say, versus Finn Trimble, the taller of the two. Very even contest. I am Joel Ascott, joined by
Lwamba Chileshe.
yes, the man, the myth, the legend.
Coming for a bit of commentary.
Yeah,
Got requested by a few of my fans, so I thought I'd make an appearance.
yeah. The man with the fan base at the moment. Recently finished second at senior nationals and losing out to an in-form Evan Williams, but in a very tight 5-setters. So you just came off court. How was your match? You came up against Allan Bailey, the local hero.
Yep.
Give us some insight. How's the court playing? How was the match?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Obviously, everyone knows my game kind of suits a nice warm ball. You know, courts are quite true, so it's not too fast, but it is bouncy, which is cool. It's good to play the local Allan. Yeah, I haven't played him for a couple of years. Played him a few times in juniors as well, I think. So it's good to just see him, catch up with him after a couple of years. You know, hit the ball around on court with him.
Yep. And
had a few laughs. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
And what can we expect to see in this contest? Obviously, two slightly different playing styles from what I understand, my experience playing them. But what do you think we can expect? They're both from your club. You've known them longer than me. What can we look to expect in this matchup?
Yeah, I definitely think both have quite contrasting games. Finn's obviously being the taller one of the two, likes to volley a lot more. While Zach is, I would say, more of a random player. Definitely more of a shot player as well. So he's just going to look to play to the front a bit more. And I think Finn's going to be trying to keep Zach behind him. But at the same time, yeah, Finn can start to shoot a little bit as well. So it'll be interesting to see if he can stay solid and not get drawn into Zach's game. The thing with playing Zach is he's a weird way of drawing you into a front game.
Yeah.
Which he's always going to come out on top of.
Yeah, true.
So
well said. And I'm going to put you on the deep end. What's the prediction? Score.
prediction. Ooh.
Who's going to win? And what will the game score be?
I'm going to say it's going to be a 5-setter, 100%.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind. Thing is, Zach always wins these 5-setters, especially against the younger blokes. He always seems to pull it out the bag. I don't think apart from your match against him at Nationals.
Yeah, sure.
He always comes out in 5. So yeah, I'm going to call it Zach in 5.
Alrighty. Well, my prediction, I've got an ongoing bet actually with Rod Nui Bannister, who was on the last 2 matches with me, but that was a Coke Zero in favour 3-2. My prediction was with Finn. Or was it Zach? I'm not sure, to be honest.
Just say Finn.
We'll say Finn, just to
keep it interesting.
Yeah, keep it interesting. And but no, I'm really looking forward to this contest, and especially with that new mo that Finn's got, might I add.
Yes.
That is certainly going to pay dividends in a short game.
Yeah, I think he's got the haircut to match it as well.
That's true. The fade shows.
The old undercut fade.
Got to give that a mention. That is, what, 5-10% better in your short game?
Yeah.
I've heard. Rumours have it. And
good 10%.
Yeah, another 5 or 10% with that blonde top you got going on. Is that true? Did the forehand drop really improve?
Nah, I think it actually makes it worse.
Oh, okay.
Because you kind of play the shot and you...
The opposite, worse?
Yeah, you feel like you look better than you should.
Okay.
And then you kind of spend too long trying to look good playing the shot, and they end up putting it in the floor.
I see.
So, probably has a reverse effect.
So, bit of a change of topic. But I just noticed these guys got the exact same shoes, exact same shirts, same colour socks. I mean, what's the difference here? The only difference is the sock height and the brand of racket. That's what we're looking at, isn't it?
Trademark.
Yeah,
that is. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, that is a textbook shot from the Trimble.
Yeah, got to comment on that.
But what's the chances of that? You think this is planned? We know I know they drove down here 5 hours from Hamilton together, but is that planned? I mean, every single thing?
I mean, it's hard to say. I wouldn't say every single thing. I definitely think the shirt is planned. Shoes probably a coincidence.
Yep.
Socks, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just don't own a pair of black socks at all.
Yeah.
Who knows? Finn needs to get out the matching headband, I reckon, just to complete the set. Haven't really seen him wear a headband before, so don't think it's his...
Well, speaking of the Trimble, he is 9-3 up, I believe, at the moment. So he's off to a good start, but as you said earlier, Zach is rather unpredictable. He can go on this string of errors to a string of winners and a toss and within the matter of seconds or minutes, really, can't he?
Yeah.
So what would you be... I thought that ball popped for a second, but well played there from Zach. But you think Finn's aware of that with Zach, or when was the last time these guys played? I mean, it wasn't Nationals, was it? No.
Nah, they played at the club champs.
Okay.
Club champs,
And what was the score in that?
Finn took that out in 5.
Alrighty then.
So yeah, these guys have had a battle before.
So a relatively quick first game then. 11-4 in favour of Finn. If you were to sum that up in about 25 to 20 seconds, what would you say?
I'd say it's a textbook game. I think Zach's going to be coming out firing in this game, and Finn needs to keep his structure, but needs to be careful, needs to be able to adapt to what Zach brings out in the second game, which is the hardest part of it.
Alright, we'll be back in a very short 90 seconds. Alright, ladies and gents, we're back for the second game now of our last match of the evening. The pick of the night, the matchup of the night, we have Finn Trimble, the taller player, slightly pastier, versus Zach Millar, the older, tanner player. And Finn taking that first game, a convincing 11-4. I'm joined by Lwamba Chileshe. What do you have to say about that first set, and what do we have to expect going into the second?
Yeah, as I said before, it's textbook from Zach. I think he shot a lot, went to the front a lot, made a few errors. Finn staying nice and solid, not making too many unforced errors, kind of moving the ball in the right positions. But yeah, as you can see now, like that first rally, Zach's changed.
You can already see that
Him,
effort level kind of picking up on, even going short,
Yeah.
Not just in his shots, but movement as well.
It's a lot more intent.
Yeah, a lot more intent, trying to chase those balls down, isn't it?
Yeah, these guys both drove down today. Zach driving the whole way, so I don't know whether that had an effect on Zach being ready for this match. But yeah, this is...
Oh, well played. Good fake there.
It's a crucial game for Zach, I think.
Big difference between 2 love up and 1-all, isn't there? Yeah, that goes without saying. But I think, Zach will definitely try and make this a lot harder on Finn now. That's not going to help him though, hitting that tin.
high tin here, 17 inch.
Yeah, another thing to mention for sure.
Quite interesting.
So we've got a few viewers online now. If you've got anything to say, shoot it through. Any questions for us, the commentators, or things you want to know? Maybe where you're watching from, all the above. It's all welcome.
Just a quick question for Joel here. Obviously you had an early round match played on Thursday night.
Yep.
What were your thoughts on the match overall?
Yeah,
Against Chris van der Sar.
I wouldn't say it was an irritating match, but it was a tough scenario. I had a few hours coaching beforehand, as well as it being on the travel day, and also, it wasn't the official. I'm bringing out the excuses book here, aren't I? But yeah, no. Difficult playing yesterday, obviously, for all those reasons I just mentioned, but lost in 4. Chris is playing well, I feel. He's a bit on and off our Christoph. But yeah, no, it was a decent match. Obviously, didn't hold my standards too high on myself after the day and whatever else I had. But a good match, and it was always like a hit out for me. It's just disappointing that it was the first match of the tournament, but these things happen. Draws are draws, and you live with it. You move on to the next one. So back to this match. 4-4 now.
It's 4-5.
4-5. 4-5.
So there's definitely a change in him.
Yeah, there's definitely a shift in this game, isn't there?
Yeah, I think his
wow.
intent is just great reverse both.
Yeah,
He's
leisure centre boast.
too young to play that shot, but the intent is just a bit better from Zach here, as we predicted.
Yeah, wow. Another great winner there with that intent, as you like to say it. So it's tough. We know both playing against Zach, or played against Zach, that it's tough to mentally deal with that stuff as his opponent. So if you were coaching Finn, or just trying to give him a few words of advice going into playing Zach, what would you say?
Main thing is just not getting sucked into that short game. It's very easy. Being up 1-love, you get a bit complacent, If the other player starts going short a lot, it's really easy to start doing stuff you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah, wow.
Like going short on short, which can be very dangerous against someone like Zach who's onto it quick.
Yeah.
He just needs to keep his lines going and try and stay in front and try and make Zach force the error. Patience is a huge thing. I don't necessarily think he needs to grind Finn. He should take him short when the opportunity is there, because you do have to move your opponent short as well. Just find his length, try and stay in front as much as you can, and then go short when the opportunity is there, ready to cover the next shot and take the next shot to the back.
Yeah, that's fair. We're seeing a lot of that short stuff coming off now for Zach, but a great length there from Finn.
Yeah, it's been a few length winners from both players.
Yeah.
So ball's obviously dying off a little bit at the back.
New balls every match here, being PSA endorsed event.
Crucial mistake there. So Zach's got a 2-point lead here. Finn making that error at 8-7, so it is now 9-7. That's the sort of stuff you can't do in this situation, because all it takes is 1 point for Zach there, and now he's got 3 game balls.
Yeah, so a relatively quick turn of events. Again, you've described that a few times playing Zach. You don't know what to expect, and it's really obvious if you've tuned in from the first game. Almost a coin flip from that set to this one. But nonetheless, it's 1-1 now. That one getting pinched by Zach. So who knows what to expect now in this third set?
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume a 5-setter. just with both styles of play. And also past matches, these guys have both gone to 5 a lot, so we're up for an absolute
Stay tuned.
treats match here, so
We'll
stay tuned.
be back very shortly. So if you're just joining us, we're in Palmerston, North, New Zealand for the SquashGym PSA Satellite. It's our last match of the day, first round. Zach Millar versus Trimble. Match up of the night, 1-1 in score. Joel Arscott, joined by Lwamba Chileshe. NZ's 2-6, but we'll keep that quiet for now. But we saw Zach pinch that last set. We have a five set predicted from pretty much everyone at this point, and it's turning out to be quite a good contest. What do you have to say about the match so far, Louis?
Yeah, as you said, it's been quite predictable. Zach shooting a bit too much in the first game, making a few mistakes, but then just really raising his level a little bit, having a bit more intent in the second game, meant that he clutched it out, or clinched it, I should say. Yeah, it looks like Finn's struggling to deal with the way the match is going mentally, with the switch and structure.
It's that changing of pace as well, isn't it? I know we talk about his shot play and the change in shot play, but also that change in pace he's putting on the ball, and just, you know, we see it there. It's a pretty simple counter, but he's onto it a little bit quicker than what he was in the first set. And you know, he's trying to flick, and he's changing the pace of the ball all the time, and that hurts a lot when you're 6'4", roughly, we'll say for Finn. That hurts a lot. And you see there as well. Again, he's hunting the volleys, putting pressure back on Finn. I know he's hit the tin there, but that's what we're seeing from Zach.
Yeah, and you can argue it's the right shot to play.
Yeah, definitely.
Just execution. Yeah, the main thing is just going to see how Finn reacts to this.
So what do you think Zach's tactics are going in? Is it don't play the same shot twice? Is that almost his tactic?
That's how it looks at the moment. Yeah.
We must also add those tactics with the facial hair. I mean,
bandana as well.
That bandana and beard, where's that come from? Maybe new look for 2021, New Year's resolution? What's your thoughts?
Could be.
Out of 10, what would you score the bandana and beard look? Bandana and beard, I like that alliteration.
Bandana and beard. Depends what you like, I guess. Being someone who can't really grow facial hair, but would like to.
Recently
be able to
got earrings yourself, haven't you?
Yes.
Hot topic. Hot topic.
I guess. But yeah, being someone who, being of an African
of
family,
colour, shall you say? Of colour.
Not being able to grow much facial hair. And someone who wants to grow facial hair.
So you envy his beard. You envy it.
I'm going to score it high. Give it a good
Out of 10, what do you got?
I'll give it a 1.
A 1.
0. 1 0. A 10.
A 10. Okay.
Yeah, 1 0.
Taxi.
Give it the old 10.
I'll give that Nick a 10 as well. Beautiful. But yeah, I like that look, and it's obviously, well, I say obviously, but it's working for him. Yeah.
Being on a similar topic, you've started growing a bit of facial hair yourself.
Movember, mate.
got
Movember,
that
bro.
mo
What do you
going.
mean?
Does it got a question?
Hop on the
Does the
bandwagon.
food get stuck in your mo and kind of save it for later? Is that a thing? Or?
That's certainly the tactic. Well, that's my excuse at least for growing one. I want to save more of my food.
Yep. Does the taste change?
Honestly, no.
It doesn't.
But when the tongue comes out of the mouth and you're scratching around a bit, it feels a bit funny. I'm not gonna lie.
So just the texture of the moustache.
Look, my girlfriend doesn't like it, so that's a big problem. But my argument's November, right? So I got a few days.
Yeah, you got a few days.
Okay. Now we saw an outburst there from Zach. He's made a couple errors now. And we're looking at he was up 8-4. I believe it now 5-8 or 6-8, whatever it may be. But I say that, and he's got the squeeze. What do you think Zach and Finn's 2 favourite shots would be?
Finn's got one favourite shot. That's the backhand flick. So
Is his best shot?
his
Would you
two
say?
favourite
Playing him?
shots are the backhand flick and the backhand flick.
Yeah.
The best shot depends. Back in juniors, it was definitely a lethal shot. I think as he's grown up a bit, he started overplaying it. That would be my only constructive criticism to him. When he is playing a match and he doesn't overplay the shot, because he's got quite a nice straight drop, it can be very effective.
Ooh,
just like that.
Right on cue.
Just like that.
But a couple of freebies there for you, Finn, if you're listening later on. We won't invoice you for that coaching session, but just keep it in mind, yeah?
Yeah.
Zach, what do you got to say about Zach? Favourite shot? Best shot? Because they can't always be the same. You know, your favourite shot isn't always your best shot.
My opinion.
I mean, speaking
I
for
would
you,
say-
for example, your forehand drop into the tin. Obviously, it's not a very good shot
Yeah.
because it hits the tin, but you love playing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably say his straight drop on the forehand and backhand. I think just the way he lines it up and he gets his body in a good position, and he is good at squeezing it as well.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I'd probably say it's a straight drop.
Yeah.
It's not very exciting. I know he can hit cross-court nicks really well. I know he's got a few tricks with his racket. But I guess my favourite shot of him, watching him, is just his straight drop on both sides. Sets up well.
Yeah, he definitely he what we call squeezed, as in he got that ball very tight to that left wall and that backhand drop a lot of the times there, squeezing Finn and getting those points.
And
So it's definitely his strongest
He really
area.
looks like he's trying to play a good shot off it. You can
Yeah,
tell
as
by
opposed
the,
to trying to play a bad one. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
I know what you're saying.
he
Yeah.
really lines it up.
Yeah.
He lines it up. You can almost see a laser coming out the ball.
A scope
pointing,
even. A scope.
yeah.
A scope off his
Pointing
racket. Yeah.
towards that squeeze or the nick if
Yeah.
he gets lucky. And it's just precision. Every time. Gets his body in the right position. High racket prep. You know?
Yeah.
Plays a nice, has a good cut on the ball.
And,
he just really lines it up and puts it in.
On that topic of shot selection and favourite shots, he's in the lead. 2-1.
He is in the lead.
Pinch that one. Squeeze that one. 11-5. So say you're coaching Finn, what would you say right now? Because he was 1 love up, now he's 2-1 down. What would you say?
Very good question. Judging by those last 2 games that Finn's lost, especially towards the end of the second and all throughout the third, he made a lot of mistakes, especially at the front.
Okay.
I think when he goes to the front, he's playing too much short on short. He needs to lift the ball out. He needs to start using some lobs, try and get Zach forcing it from up high instead of down low.
Yeah.
Because Zach is very good at taking it in short and then hunting the next shot.
Okay.
While as obviously lobbing it out gets rid of that threat.
Yeah.
Finn just needs to use a bit more height from the front. Get Zach behind him more. Zach's very comfortable playing it in short. You know, very comfortable.
I agree.
And it's obviously a higher error or higher margin for error when you're going for it or going short from the back. So he needs to find a way to get him behind.
I know we've been doing coaching the past few days here in Palmerston North and in Wanganui, but if we're talking freebies, that is a freebie lesson on tactics from the NZ number 2 there. So thanks for that, Lumbie, and Finn, look out for the second invoice.
Yeah, I'll send you my bank card details later, but that's another matter.
Especially if he pinches this one in 5, which is my prediction. And on that topic, again, a couple quick errors from Zach.
Yeah.
So again, the momentum's shifting quite a lot, isn't it?
If I was someone who didn't really know squash and I had only watched Zach's matches the last couple of years,
A neutral, if you will.
I would literally say that he goes to 5 on purpose for the crowd. He's what you call a crowd pleaser, isn't he? Exhibition squash.
He loves exhibition squash. Best way to explain his game style, I would say.
Yeah.
Exhibition squash.
And he is enjoyable to watch.
Effective, yeah. Not fun to play against at all. And not fun to look at with that beard and bandana, but...
It's harsh. But it's your opinion.
My opinion. But watching it is great, isn't it? Watching it is great.
It is.
Just, and again, cheeky hand gesture. Definitely the Prince racket at fault there, but he's hit a lot of winners tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Hit a lot of winners tonight, and it's going to be interesting to see what his mindset or approach is to this set. He's already made a couple errors, and does he want to pinch it in 4, or does he want to purposely take it to that 5-setter like you're talking about?
Yeah. Either way, the crowd's definitely getting their money's worth.
Yeah.
And yeah, this has gone exactly as predicted. I
So
guess
it's
you could say.
looking like a 5 for now. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking on the topic of the old rackets, thoughts on the old Nick Finn Trimble signature racket?
Oh, is that? I was wondering what racket that was. I've never seen it before. So the Nick, if you don't know what that is, it is a shot in squash. It is the join between that joins the sidewall and the floor. Okay, and if you hit it, it rolls, which these boys have done a couple times tonight. But it's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Because the Nick is a racket brand.
It is.
Isn't it?
It is. And
it is used by Finn Trimble.
And he also has his own signature racket, so you can get Finn Trimble, a Lugton Park
I don't know why.
representative, Cousin Shield winners, may I add, 2019.
Now, rumour has it that if you use the Nick racket, especially the Finn Trimble one, that your cross-court nicks and straight nicks improve on average 35%. Now, I don't know if that's true.
I've heard 40%.
You've heard 40?
I've heard 40.
Okay, 35 to 40. We'll
We'll
go
put
with
it
that.
somewhere in there.
But, I mean, that's worth investing.
It is, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of brands going around at the moment. Do you have a favourite?
I mean, I'm obviously going to be biased and say Unsquashable. If I was to take Unsquashable out of the equation, I'd probably say Harrow, because I was with them before Unsquashable.
That's fair. Oh, it's a good topic to talk about. I don't think
Yeah,
it gets spoken about enough.
yeah,
Especially, there's so many different divided opinions in there.
yeah. And I guess like you could argue all rackets are the same, if not very similar. So obviously you got circle rackets, teardrop. So those are different style of rackets, but I guess teardrop, difference between unsquashable teardrop and a technifiber teardrop, same factory, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, probably.
it's just the brand.
Okay. Well,
What about
another era. What about me? I mean, far out. What about Zach? He's just made about 3 errors. I think you're right with this whole tactical fifth, because the wheels seem to be falling off now, but that's what it looked like in the first, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, that's
and
the
then he got
thing,
the next 2 sets. So.
And the next game,
I think you're on the money there,
You're
yeah.
going to see Zach doing. I mean,
What Zach does best?
yeah, and
Yeah?
he's going to be hustling. He's going to. You might see a few dives coming out
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So
He is
I don't know if
prone
he's
to diving.
tactically resting for this game. Could be his tactic.
Well, he seems to be lifting a little bit now in these last few points, doesn't he? Intensity-wise. I mean, there you see it with that huge lunge. I mean, if you're a betting man, then this is
one to call.
niggly,
Tough one to
as we
call.
like to say.
Very juicy.
Niggly.
Very juicy.
Trimble's got to be close to a game ball by now. I think we have 10-6 or 10-7.
That's that drop I'm talking about.
But again, yeah.
He lines it up, and you can see it going into the sidewall. It's very satisfying.
Yeah.
Very satisfying shot to watch.
Tight to that sidewall, glued if you will. Strength area for sure, yeah. So maybe Zach thinking he's got a sniff now? Thinking he can close it out in 4? What do you think? It's a couple winners coming off.
Yeah, Finn's got to be careful here. Zach is definitely the type to be able to hit 5 winners in a row. So
We've still got it as obviously there is a bit of an issue with us being downstairs, referee being upstairs, but we do have it as 7-10 or 8-10. So if he doesn't pick himself back up again, it could be very niggly going into a tie break with Zach at the moment.
Looks like it just stayed in. See, this is what I'm talking about, the hustle from Zach.
He's definitely going for it. Getting those cross courts very wide, the both of them. Keeping Zach on the move. Tight shots. Ooh.
I think it's a let. Or was it a no let?
Again, we can't hear the referee upstairs, but judging by the player's reaction, it looks like a let. I would have given that a no let personally. What would you have given it?
Yeah. The ball was
Desperate ask.
away from it was away from Finn. It was away from Zach. Sorry, going into the side ball. Zach had cleared. So yeah, I would have called it a no let. What's it called?
So both these players will be feeling it physically now. Just long rallies, bit of lactate getting through the legs.
Very juicy rally.
Huge rally. And then we see the outburst from Zach.
I think it's 10-all now. 10-all. This is very juicy.
Yep, juicy to say the least. Both these boys taking a very quick breather. So huge points now. I don't think Zach will be wanting this to go to 5 now because he's put a bit of energy into this last set. Last few points, should I say. But a bit of a choke really from Finn, hasn't it? Too passive, I would say. Oh, wow. And there we have it.
Reverse motion in the back, so it must have been a no let.
That's one way to do it. Cheeky reverse. He probably three or four of those in this match.
Yeah.
But a great performance
Very effective shot.
in that fourth set, closing it out in the last few points. Playing really well. So not the 5-center we wanted. Zach Millar 3-1.
Very entertaining.
If you could sum that up in 20 seconds, how would you sum it up, Louis?
Very entertaining. That's what I'd say. I enjoyed that match. Enjoyed every minute of it. And I look forward to the matches tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Stay tuned. We'll be back here in Squash Gym Palmerston North tomorrow for the Squash Gym PSA satellite. Thank you for coming.